Well, I'll tell you what I think.
The majority of those who died today were children. Beautiful little kids between the ages of 5 and 10 years old.
Just another day. Just another day. Just another day.
They had their entire lives ahead of them.
Another spate of deaths. We've become very good at our rote reactions. Thoughts and prayers. Don't politicize it. Forget gun control because it wouldn't have stopped him anyway. This tragedy is inconceivable. This is something we will never get past. But we do get past it. We all play our assigned roles. We intone the correct and expected sentiments and rehash our favorite talking points. That's our way of getting past it. We're geniuses at getting past it. Stopping it is what we suck at.
So our hearts are broken today.
It's just another day.
So, for your right to bear arms, children have to die. I really appreciate your thoughts, gentlemen. Guns kill. Guns kill children today. For your right to bear arms, children die.
It's just another day. It's just another day. So sad, so sad. Sometimes you feel so sad.
Now, we're unfortunately a violent society. We have about 33,000 deaths by use of a gun each year. About 18,000 of those are self-inflicted. I mean, there is a certain reality that if you have a gun in your home, the chances that that's going to be used against you or against a family member, just that's what happens.
Mr. President, it's not just about guns, it's about mental health. And we need to provide a place where people who are stressed and unstable and have problems with the world can go to and find help. We need to find a way to reach these folks before they commit these acts. It's not just about the guns. We had guns 100 years ago, but people didn't go shoot up schools. So we really need to address the mental health issue.
So sad, so sad. Sometimes she feels so sad.
More than 24 people were killed when a gunman opened fire in an elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut.
We're surprised it happened here. It's not supposed to happen here, which means, by implication, that it's supposed to happen there in Detroit or Oakland or California, in LA and the like. And I think that's the tragedy here.
To the people of Newtown, we are with you today and in the days, weeks, and months ahead. That was the word today from Ron Barber, who was shot and wounded in the mass shooting in Tucson last year that killed 6 people and wounded 13, including the grievous wounding of Congresswoman Gabby Giffords.
A shopping mall in Oregon.
In Oak Creek, Wisconsin, where 4 months ago there was another mass shooting at a Sikh temple. Another 6 people gunned down at that temple. A school superintendent there today told the local press that she cried when she heard the news out of Newtown, Connecticut. She said, "We always think it can't happen here, and we pray fervently that it won't. But as we know from our experience this summer, it can happen anywhere."
A house of worship in Wisconsin.
The mayor of Aurora, Colorado, is still helping his community try to recover from the mass shooting there this summer, where 12 people were shot and killed and another 58 people were shot but survived. He said today from Aurora, "Our hearts go out to the people of Newtown."
A movie theater in Colorado.
Colorado Senator Michael Bennet, he said today, "As Coloradans, we know how this type of tragedy can shake a community to its core. We are here for Connecticut today."
So sad. Sometimes she feels so sad.
What better way to honor them and all who have died at other mass killings over the past years than for you in Congress to step forward and say enough is enough, that it's time for our country to address the arms issue and working with the NRA enact sensible gun control laws. If we can't address this issue now, then when? How many young, innocent children and adults have to die in senseless shootings because our Congress is reluctant to take on the NRA and gun control laws?
And if he does nothing during his second term, something like 48,000 Americans will be killed with illegal guns. That is roughly the number of Americans killed in the whole Vietnam War.
To talk about gun control. How about now? Better yet, why don't we all do something? First thing we could do is phone, write, email, tweet our Congress people. 26 people died in Newtown, Connecticut today. 20 of them were children. Let's do this.
So sad. Sometimes she feels so sad.
Countless street corners in places like Chicago and Philadelphia.
And there's the lack of cultural empathy. There's a lack of saying, what did Michael Isikoff said? That, you know, he was a troubled child. Ain't no troubled children named Jamal or Shaniqua, it seems to be. So we don't have that kind of empathy to understand what they're dealing with.
I mean, every time we say this should not have happened here, it is as though we are saying it is not such a big deal that it happens there. I just want the same level of outrage.
The right to keep and bear arms is not without limits. We need to have a conversation about guns and what the American people should be required to bear. Shall we continue to bear people keeping gun shops or working in gun shops without a criminal background check? Shall we continue to bear the private sales of guns? Or should those people that registered to own those guns keep them? Should we bear people keeping their guns without insurance to mitigate the damage those guns can perpetrate? What about keeping their guns in secure, unsecured locations where a child or an intruder can get a hold of it? Skirting our laws by buying guns at gun shows, keeping their silence when their gun is lost or stolen, clips that allow massive casualties without reloading. Shall we continue to bear some people keeping assault weapons that can produce the kind of carnage that the communities of Aurora and Newton suffered so recently? The right to keep and bear arms is not absolute. We can't keep bearing this.
Colorado's Governor John Hickenlooper, he said, "We know too well what impact this kind of violence has on a community. I cannot put into words how impossible it seems to me that this can happen again so suddenly."
It only happens in America, and it happens again and again. There was another shooting yesterday. 3 people killed, I think, in a hospital. We kill people in schools, we kill them in hospitals, we kill them in religious organizations, we kill them when they're young, we kill them when they're old, and we just got to stop this.
Virginia Tech was the site of a mass shooting 5 years ago where 32 people were shot and killed on a college campus. Another 17 people were shot and survived. The president of Virginia Tech said today, "We of the greater Virginia Tech community know from our experience of the unending sorrow and horror that has now descended on the Newtown, Connecticut community."
We've got to really question whether military-style weapons with big magazines belong on the streets of America in this day and age. Nobody questions the Second Amendment's right to bear arms, but I don't think the Founding Fathers had the idea that every man, woman, and child could carry an assault weapon.
So sad. Sometimes she feels so sad.
Beth Nimmo, whose daughter was killed in the Columbine High School mass shooting, she said today, "As far as the parents go, they're not going to know what hit them for a long, long time. My heart is racing, and I just feel like these parents, they're going to hurt so bad for so long, and there's not much you can do to console someone like this."
If I had one message for the president, it is, Mr. President, it's time for you to lead us beyond being a society of fear. Times have changed. The only reason we believe we need guns is because nobody has taught us how to believe in each other. That's your job, Mr. President. You've always been so good at rallying us to be our best. Can we return the favor and rally you to be your best? Lead us beyond our fears, Mr. President, and we'll be able to accomplish anything the gods can throw at us. Thank you.
And these children are our children. And we're going to have to come together and take meaningful action to prevent more tragedies like this, regardless of the politics. We can't tolerate this anymore. These tragedies must end. And to end them, we must change. No set of laws can eliminate evil from the world or prevent every senseless act of violence in our society. But that can't be an excuse for inaction. Surely we can do better than this. In the coming weeks, I'll use whatever power this office holds to engage my fellow citizens, from law enforcement to mental health professionals to parents and educators, in an effort aimed at preventing more tragedies like this. Because what choice do we have? We can't accept events like this as routine. Are we really prepared to say that we're powerless in the face of such carnage? That the politics are too hard? Are we prepared to say that such violence visited on our children year after year after year is somehow the price of our freedom?
The NRA is typically supported by the pro-life crowd, twisted.
This is the way we live as Americans.
It's just another day. It's just another day.
That's pretty much it.